swung right through it.
Yeah.
And it's great having a pitcher up here basically to kind of be the oracle and be like, well, this is what went wrong and this is what he has to do and stuff like that. I mean, like you said, just stayed a little bit high. One with 2 strikes, you got to spike.
Yeah, because I know exactly. Because I have that problem sometimes too. I guess I throw too many strikes, so I don't. I have a problem with throwing pitches in the dirt with 2 strikes.
Don't pat yourself on the back too much.
And in this league, you have to spike it to get
Right.
to get a lot of strikeouts.
Well, that's something Carmen was doing on 3-2.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
noticed
Yeah.
that his breaking ball on 3-2, he didn't mind throwing it in the dirt, but every single time it paid off. 0-1 right back to
Attaboy.
Worcester, and he makes the grab, flips the ball back on the mound, and he jogs off like he's been there.
Yeah.
Fantastic catch on a frozen rope. That will retire the side as Caleb allows no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and he strands runners in scoring position. Franco, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, he's gonna have nightmares about that ball.
That happened when you survive one like that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Franco Aleman, thanks so much for joining us up here in the booth, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
In the 7 to 12 category, Brady.
It wasn't like last time.
58 miles.
New pitcher coming into the ball game as we begin the home half of the 7th, and what many call the best name on the Cape, Zebulon Vermillion from the University of Arkansas.
You should have seen the press box when we figured out that Zebulon Vermillion was going to be the pitcher in this one. Rising junior from Arkansas, ranked the number 375th player in the nation by perfect game back in high school. He played for the White Sox in 2015-2016 area code games, but one of the lethal arms and one of the lethal names in the Cape.
So Zebulon, a recent arrival out of Omaha, coming over to Orleans to try to impress some scouts, and right now he's going to try to keep this at a 3-0 deficit in favor of the Birds. First pitch he throws to Barron Radcliffe is taken outside by the big lefty from Georgia Tech. He's 0 for 2, ground out to first, and a looking strikeout. Vermillion from the stretch, despite nobody being on base, fires a fastball on the outside part of the plate. This will be his first appearance in a Firebirds uniform. The 1-1 to Radcliffe taken just a tad upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Barron now with that average hovering right around 150. Really could use a hit just to give himself some confidence right here and help the doors out. Chopper over towards the right side. This one is a slow roller, scooped up on a run. Throw on to first. Just in time. Josh Zamora with a fantastic play to beat Barron Radcliffe. And that's a 4-3 putout to start us off.
One thing about the Cape, unlike college baseball, which you've talked about many times, is there's no video review. I bet Jeff Trundy would have walked out there, or Mike Landry, whoever would have walked out there to try and figure out if that was a safer out. But a very, very, very close call by the first base umpire.
Got to agree. Looked like he just caught Barron by a step. Kevin Kendall now will be the hitter, 0 for 2 on the day. First pitch to Kendall taken upstairs. Funky how managers on the Cape just don't really play to the matchups at all. They bring in a righty to face 2 lefties and then a switch hitter, Hayden Cantrell.
Maybe Katie on the sideline could tell us, or Haley, who's doing our social media right now. She's close by. Maybe she could tell us if it was an out or a safe.
1-1 now the count to Kevin Kendall, the UCLA Bruin, who's got a hit in every single game he's played so far this summer. Only 4, but still a respectable hitting streak. The 1-1. Line drive back into the screen.
Kevin Kendall was one of the guys I'm very excited to see come to the Commodores this year, playing for, of course, #1 team in the nation at the time at the end of the regular season for college baseball, UCLA. He has a nice attitude. He has a good attitude, of course. Changed his number from 27 to 7 because he's one of the smaller guys on the team.
The 1-2 to Kendall. Checks his swing, and yes, he went around, so now this is a mess of a play. Oh, my goodness. They say that Kendall went around on the swing. It skipped off of the shin guard of the catcher, Avidia, and then the appeal down to third. Took about 9 years for the third base umpire, Ryan Damari, to say that he went around, and by then the ball was retrieved behind the plate, and Kendall was tagged out. He had no idea that he was told that he swung. That is just ludicrous.
Yeah, no, we were talking a little bit about the umpires in beforehand, and don't get me wrong, they do a hard job, and it's very hard to do that. But for that, where it was clear that he didn't go,
Regardless of whether he went or not,
late.
It was a late call, and
late.
Kendall just did not get a chance. And we heard from the dugout somebody yelling, "Go, go!" And I guess Kevin just didn't get the memo where he said it's too late. So he's a strikeout victim for the second time tonight. Commodores quickly with 2 outs against them. Hayden Cantrell pops this one up on the infield. Coming on in is Eddie McCabe. He calls for it right near the second base bag, makes the grab, and Zebulon Vermillion comes on and pitches a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. We will head to the top of the 8th, still 3-0 Orleans. Welcome back to Falmouth as the Commodores are trailing the Orleans Firebirds 3-0, and we'll take a look at the schedule that is ahead as part of that. Every day of July has a game schedule.
Yeah, 32 games, including today, in 31 days. First, of course, next game at home against Brewster. Then we go on continue that home stretch against Cotuit. First time we're going to be playing against Cotuit is that Wednesday, July 3rd. Then we head to Cotuit on July 4th for the 4th of July. See those fireworks as well after the game. Of course, 5 o'clock game start. Then on Friday, we have a home doubleheader against the Chatham Anglers. So that was make up for a previous rain out. Then on the 6th, we head on the road to Brewster. And from that point, Sunday, Monday, it will be Harwich at home and on the road at Bourne on Monday.
So a whole bevy of teams that the Doors will be facing within the next week, and we'll see if all of those games get played when they're supposed to. Falmouth right now trailing the Firebirds, the first time they're facing Orleans all season, 3-0. Both teams with 3 hits. All of the runs coming against the Doors in the 6th inning, none of them on hits, twice on wild pitches. Ball number 1 fired by Worcester inside to Matt Goodhart. 4, 5, and 6 at the dish for Orleans. Lefty-lefty matchup, and that's a beautiful breaking ball. Looks like it was going to hit Goodhart, breaks over the middle of the plate.
And defense is so important, especially in a game against one of the top pitching staffs in the entire Cape. And the defense, wild pitches, just killed the Doors.
Fastball paints the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strike now the count to Goodhart, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. He was stranded at second base in the 6th. Orleans could have tacked on more. They had bases loaded and only 1 out. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a beautiful breaker. Caleb Worcester pulls the string, and he's got Goodhart swinging for the second time tonight.
And Caleb Worcester struggled going into this relief appearance, and he's looked the exact opposite from this point. Just so great and such a great command of the breaking ball right now. It just seems like he can control wherever it moves with just, the motion of his hand. So he does a really great job with that.
First pitch he throws to Raymond Gill, misses outside. Worcester, his last time out against YD, an outing to forget. A third of an inning, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 4 hits, no strikeouts, faced only 6 batters, and let a couple of them reach home plate. Time now called by Troy Clonch, but this time around, he's looking pretty okay. 7th inning, he did get into a little bit of trouble, had runners on second and third, but ended up getting out of the jam unscathed. Worcester's 1-0, just below the knees. Raymond Gill also 0 for 2, does have an RBI because he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Avoidable runs that Orleans has been able to capitalize on. The 2-0, swing and a miss.
Probably the easiest RBI he's going to get all season.
Yeah.
Might have hurt a little bit, but was worth it probably for Orleans.
Hey, right on the elbow guard, so he'll wear that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Two-one pitch is chopped at short. Kevin Kendall is there. Throw on to first in time. Out number 2 on the 6-3 putout. So Kevin Kendall has been looking sharp. The infield has been looking really good, making some pretty fancy plays. Just that one error by Austin Langworthy back in the 6th inning is the one blemish against the fielders.
But that one error was so crucial to keeping that inning alive back in the top of the 6th, and just the wild pitches. It kept on seeming like the pitching staff, the bullpen, just couldn't keep up with that. But a good play by Kevin Kendall. Strong defensive start for him.
So 2 up, 2 down. And now Tanner Murray will take his hacks. He's 0 for 3 with 2 swinging strikeouts against him. One of those coming with the bases loaded and 1 out. A huge out that Logan Hoffman was able to record to keep the damage at bay. First pitch he sees from Worcester on the outside corner. He is spotting those pitches so well right now, which is such a welcome sight to see after he was hit around quite a bit his last time out. Worcester rocking the stirrups, kicks and fires home the 0-1. Had some movement to it, and again is sliced foul.
And the way he's pitching right now reminds me, even though he probably throws faster than Dallas Keuchel, but of Dallas Keuchel when he was younger. He used to have such great accuracy, and that's the reason why he's so effective on the mound. And he could hit targets no matter where. He practiced with his father and was able to get it wherever he wanted. So it seems like Caleb Worcester has that accuracy right now.
He just misses outside with the 0-2. Something Franco Aliman told us when he was in the booth, that a lot of times when you're ahead 0-2, you want to put one in the dirt, you want to put one well out of the strike zone because you don't want to leave it over the middle of the plate and give a guy who's already trying to protect the plate a real good chance to get on base. Well, that's what Worcester did right there. Couldn't get Murray to chase. 1-2, another great pitch on a breaking ball that sat down and in. Almost got Murray to go around, but he somehow held up.
And another great thing to talk about when it comes to like that confidence of throwing a pitch outside of the zone is that you have confidence in yourself that you're going to be able to work back into that count, even if it's early on that you're trying to get a batter to swing.
2-2. Just a tad high, and he's come at Murray with some pretty fantastic stuff. The fastball outside couldn't get him to chase. The breaking ball inside couldn't get him to go around. Another pitch up and in. Looked like Murray thought about it. Holds up yet again. Got to credit Murray's eye.
Some good stuff coming from Worcester, and honestly just can't say anything bad about it right now. Just trying to get Murray to swing, and we'll see if he tries to put one over the plate or if maybe he comes with that slider that's been so lethal in this one.
He looks in with that Craig Kimbrell type approach when he's taking the signs. Comes set. The payoff pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. He went up and away with a fastball, and finally he gets Tanner Murray to chase. Caleb Worcester works a 1-2-3 8th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Falmouth with 6 chances to score 3 runs to tie. We'll be right back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Not the only game going on Cape Cod tonight, Max. There are 3 other games going on a day that was supposed to be a complete off day, but thanks to rain, we have 4 games when we're supposed to have 0, so take us around.
Yeah, let's take it around the Cape. And a game that already ended was Cotuit versus the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, one of the most interesting games all season. As the Hyannis Harbor Hawks were trailing late, come back in the 8th inning, score 5 runs, tie it up 8-8, and blew it in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cotuit scores 1 run. Hyannis gives up that 1 run, and final score 9-8, a 3-hour and 7-minute ball game. Right now in the bottom of the 8th inning, it's between the Bourne Braves and the Wareham Gatemen at Bourne, and Bourne is currently winning 6-1. Of course, we have our game right now. Orleans is leading 3-0, but of course, the other game that's going on is Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox against the Chatham Anglers, and the Chatham Anglers are currently leading 4-0 at home right now in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Chatham, arguably one of the most talented rosters. They have pretty much the all-star roster year after year, and they're playing like it right now. They've got all those guys on the Cape. Maybe a couple of them lost to Team USA, but for the most part have all their guys, and they have been playing fantastic baseball. Orleans still ahead of them in the standings and looking to keep it that way if they can keep this game 3-0. Falmouth, meanwhile, at 3rd place, with a chance to lose 3rd place if the score remains the same out in Bourne, with the Braves leading 6-1. They would still be in a playoff spot, but of course want to give themselves a better ranking than that, as Blake Dunn swings through the first pitch fastball. So Falmouth trailing by 3, have 6 outs to go. Blake Dunn, the 2-hitter, set to lead things off. On the bump is Cameron Fields for Orleans. He quickly gets ahead 0-2. On the summer, he's already thrown 7 innings of work, 7.71 ERA. Been a workhorse for the Firebirds. His 0-2 misses down low. Fields from the University of Texas fires a fastball down in the dirt. Blake Dunn goes around, says first base umpire Rick Emerson. How many times have we seen that? A pitch in the dirt, a batter tries to check his swing, looks over to first base, gets told he went around, and then hangs his head, disagreeing.
All Blake Dunn does is flip his bat in frustration, and there's nothing that you can really do otherwise in that situation, because there's really nothing else you can do.
First pitch to Tim Tawa is fouled away. Cameron Fields from Garland, Texas. Back in the spring with the Longhorns, he had 20 appearances, went 1-2 with a 4.26 ERA, 25 1/3 innings pitched. How about this? 36 strikeouts. Wow. Fires a fastball right past Tawa. It's quickly 0-2. He's looking just as sharp as he did back in the spring.
And another 2-sport athlete, a 3-star dual-threat quarterback, just like Barron Radcliffe was.
Chopper over towards third base. That one is fielded on a couple of hops. Throw on to first. In time, they call out, as it looked like Raymond Gill came off the bag for about half a second, but he was able to get back on before Tawa touched the bag. So Murray to Gill for another 5-3 putout. Quickly 2 up and 2 down. Commodores running out of chances, and it's becoming very obvious why this Orleans team has tops in the Cape League in ERA. I mean, this bullpen, no matter who they go to, they're shutting them down.
And it seems like there's certain guys on there. You have your guys from Arkansas, Louisville, whatnot, but there are other guys from not these top schools that we talk about that have been pitching for Orleans that have done such a great job.
I mean, the starter, Noah Skiro, he comes out of Liberty. 1-0 to Troy Claunch is taken outside. Claunch so far on the day 0 for 3, grounded out his first time up, then back-to-back strikeouts. Fields working quickly. Here's the 2-0. Fastball chopped over towards second base. Zamora is there, fields it on the run, throws it on the run in time, and it's another quiet inning for the Doors at the plate. They go down 1-2-3 here in the 8th. We'll head to the final frame. Still 3-0 Birds.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Welcome back to the Gov. Top of the 9 we go. Falmouth trailing Orleans 3-0. Danny LaRose joined alongside Max Trink here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. And Bryce Miller will come out for his 3rd appearance of the season. Miller has racked up 3 innings of work so far over 2 appearances, throwing to the tune of a 6.00 ERA.
And the righty from Texas A&M just, he's been one of the better arms in this bullpen for the Commodores. Really needs to keep its steady course right now, heading into the bottom of the 9th inning, down 3. And there's no better guy right now than Bryce Miller, who has really done such a great job back at Texas A&M this past season. A 2.51 ERA, a 4-1 record for him, and had 1 save in 21 appearances.
First pitch he throws is taken down and away. The rising junior from New Braunfels, Texas, an Aggie along with Zach Deloach, who's out in the outfield right now. 1-1 now the count to Eddie McCabe, the 7-hitter. So it's the bottom of the order that Miller has to get through in order to get this one out to the bottom of the 9th. Fires that ball downstairs. Bryce Miller, who might be leaving the Cape sometime soon. Pitching coach Mike Lantry said that he only had a couple of days with Miller, who had an early exit to head back to Texas. So he got some action on June 17th, on June 26th, now on July 1st. The 2-1 grounded back.
There's a couple of guys that have had closer when it comes to their innings. Another guy, Tommy Sheehan. When you pitch over 100 innings at that point,
Immediate red flag.
Yeah, you're going to run out of time here on the Cape, but he's been so great for the Commodores. It's going to be a little bit of a bad situation to lose an arm like that.
Right. 2-2 is fouled away. Bummer if Sheehan has to go soon, seeing how he's over 100 pitches for 2019, because it's really been Sheehan, Aliman, and Majinski, the 3 starters who have been lights out for the Doors. 2-2 still the count to McCabe, who's 0 for 3.
The thing is, I don't know who's going to replace Sheehan at this point.
Right. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Fastball down in the zone. McCabe goes and chases. He falls to 0 for 4. I mean, this has been such a quiet game offensively. Orleans has a 3-run lead on 3 hits, none of which were RBI hits. And it's just kind of a miracle that they're leading at this point. Again, it was the 6th inning. The Falmouth pitching kind of collapsed in on itself before regaining its composure. At the same token, there are a ton of guys on this Orleans roster right now who are 0 for.
And it was just that 1/6 inning that was the elongated period in this game. Otherwise, it's been going really, really quick.
Right.
The pitching's been so good.
Now 2 hours, 28 minutes in. A little less than that. First pitch was a little after 6 p.m., and we're nearly at the end of the ball game. David Avidia is the hitter. He struck out his first time up, walked in the 6th, advanced to third on an error by Langworthy when he should have been thrown out at second, and then came home with the game's first run on a wild pitch. So far, he has the game-winning run under his belt. Ball misses outside, 2-1 now the count, and then in the 7th inning came around and hit a single before he was stranded on third to end the inning. So he's had himself a pretty fine game.
Yeah, and you can't complain. You know, being at the bottom of the order, going into this game with less than 100 on your average, being 500 and exiting this game in tonight's game, going 1 for 2 is really huge, especially if you want to stay on the Cape. Being a guy from Grand Canyon.
He was 2 for 24 entering tonight. Has that 1 hit, which definitely bumps up the average significantly. This one misses down and in. Now the count is full to Avidia, who's looking to maybe walk for his second time if Miller can't hit the strike zone. Miller has allowed 1 walk in each of his appearances so far this season. The 3-1 from Miller. Swung on and missed. Tipped into the glove, it looks like. Squeezed by Claunch. Full count.
Good pitch right there. Kept it on the inside and just couldn't bring his hands around as the bat just clearly missed the ball.
The payoff pitch popped up high in the air on the infield. Cantrell ranging over. He's now on the shortstop side of the second base bag. Camps under it and makes the grab to record the second out of the inning.
And a good way for Miller to bounce back and get that out. Huge out for the Commodores here. And now only 1 out away from trying to come back into this ball game.
Pitching for the Doors has been spectacular. First inning through the 5th inning, Carmen Majinski allowed only 1 base runner. 7th inning, did allow 2 hits, did Worcester, but got out of the jam. 8th inning, a 1-2-3 inning by Worcester. This inning, so far, 2 up, 2 down. Just that 6th, that is the 1 blemish on either side of the scorecard. Both the Doors and Orleans pitching has been phenomenal. As a strike is fired over the middle of the plate to Josh Zamora. Zamora swings and tips this one just below the glove of Claunch. Quickly falls behind 0-2. He scored the game's 2nd run. He was the one who got first base thanks to the Langworthy error. He laid down a bunt. Would have been unsuccessful. Saved the mistake. Advanced on a wild pitch 2 times. He came around to score on the 3rd wild pitch of that 6th inning. Miller's 0-2. Way up high.
Clearly just trying to overpower Zamora right there with a high pitch. Wasn't trying even close to get that in the strike zone.
Gets that one to go not in the strike zone, but gets Zamora to swing right through it. His 2nd strikeout of the inning, and just like that, Doors pitching has worked back-to-back 1-2-3 innings, 4 strikeouts over those 2 innings of work. But the offense has been quiet. Their last chance coming up right after the break with the Falmouth Commodores trailing 3-0.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20 plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Last chance for the Commodores, trailing the Firebirds 3-0. They'll have Deloach, Moretto, and Langworthy to go up against Jeffrey Prommel, a right-hander from Southern New Hampshire University, who has been as consistent on the Cape as ever. 5 appearances, each of them for 1 inning pitched. He has faced 4 batters in every single appearance, has led up at just 1 hit in 4 of those 5, and has not allowed a run at all. Also leads the Birds in saves with 3. Trying to get his 4th of the season right here. First pitch he throws to Zach Deloach is taken for a strike on the outside edge.
From what you tell me, he seems like a bona fide closer for sure.
Yeah.
And a guy that you could definitely rely on when you're 3 runs or less of a lead.
From Bridgewater, New Jersey, stands at 6'1", 180. Delivers that pitch just off the outside corner. He was Northeast 10 All-Conference first team this past year with Southern New Hampshire. Had 25 appearances, 5-1 record, a less than 1 ERA. Deloach unloads on that pitch, but puts it well foul into the bleachers far up the first base line. Count now 1 ball to 2 strikes.
And at the Northeast 10 Conference, he led the entire conference in appearances, so he is definitely a workhorse, and he can get many innings in games.
Mentioned his ERA at .98, his whip at .65. Had 10 saves in his 25 appearances. The 1-2. Line drive over towards the second base side. That's just up and over the glove of the leaping Josh Zamora. And Zach Deloach is on for the 4th time tonight. He is now 3 for 3 with a walk, and the Commodores are in business in the 9th.
And it really seems like the 5-6 hitters have been so good for the Commodores, the only guys that are keeping them in this one, because it's been Deloach and Moretto getting on base.
Steven Moretto, 1 for 1. He had a single back in the second. His next 2 at-bats, he walked. Every single time he's been stranded at first base. Looking to do some damage with Deloach on first, taking a big lead. Pitch from Prommel, swung on, big hack made by Moretto, but he comes up empty. No balls, 1 strike.
The 5-6 hitters are the only hitters to have hits in this one.
4 hits total for Falmouth, 3 of them coming from Zach Deloach, 1 of them from the man at the plate. The 0-1. Breaking ball, good movement, but good eye by Moretto. Last year, Prommel pitched with the Keene Swamp Bats. That's in the NECBL. 1-0 record, 4.44 ERA. The 1-1 roped down the left field line, and yet again, Moretto way out ahead of one, just like Deloach was on the previous at-bat. They're tagging these breaking balls, but just can't quite stay back on them late enough.
Now is a point where you step a little bit closer to the pitcher in the box if you keep on swinging early, and it's been multiple people now that have been swinging early against Prommel.
Steven down 1-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Beautiful pitch by Prommel that has Moretto's knees buckled. He's the first out of the 9th.
And Moretto's definitely wishing that he had that pitch back and could have teed it up a little bit later than he did before.
So here's a boost of confidence from Jeff Trundy towards Austin Langworthy. Langworthy, who is 0 for 3 with 3 swinging strikeouts, gets a chance in his 4th AB to try to avoid the golden sombrero and make something happen for the Doors. He opts not to go to a pinch hitter, and Langworthy blasts one out into deep right field. Back, and that one is off the wall. One hops the wall, goes over it. So how about that? Jeff Trundy says, Austin, I believe in you, and Langworthy puts himself on second, puts Deloach on third. The Commodores are one hit away from being right back in this one.
And I thought that was going over the wall for a second for a homer. Austin Langworthy just got all of that one and saw probably the two guys before him swing a little bit earlier at pitches and realized I had to wait and step back.
Right.
And he did exactly that, drilled it to right field.
Looked like a changeup right at the knees, and you're right. He sat back on it, and he blasted it right back where it needed to go. So he's on second with the ground rule double. Deloach is on third. Barron Radcliffe is at the dish. He's 0 for 3, a couple of groundouts and a strikeout. He watches the first pitch, ball miss just below the knees. They need Barron to do anything but what he's done already. Ground ball would get the job done, but only one run. But they need him to put something into the outfield. The 1-0. Ground ball towards the right side. This will bring a run home, but probably will be the second out. Soft flip over from Raymond Gill to Prommel in time. And the Doors have broken the shutout. Deloach comes home with their first run. Langworthy moves to third, but they're down to their final out.
A good job by Barron Radcliffe, at least to get it to the right-hand side and just keep it there so the run can score rather than pushing it over to a ground ball to either third base or the shortstop or trying to figure that out because at least the one run does come across.
So Kevin Kendall will come up to the plate with Langworthy on third in a 3-1 ball game and 2 outs. He's 0 for 3, a couple of swinging strikeouts as well. Watches ball number 1 sit high. Kendall trying to extend his hitting streak to 5 games. 1 hit in every single game played so far. No hits today. The 1-0. Checks his swing on an inside pitch. He did not go around, and the ball stays inside. 2-0.
And a good job by Kendall just waiting right now because Prommel's been struggling.
Prommel's 2-0. Fastball clocked over towards the first base side, but there is Raymond Gill. Fields it on a backhand, underhand flip over to first base, and back-to-back 3-1 putouts will end the ball game. The Doors score 1 on 2 hits, no errors committed by Orleans, and they strand a runner on third base. 3-1 your final score, and the bats just weren't active for Falmouth. We kind of expected an outcome like this. We knew Falmouth was struggling at the dish. We knew Orleans had the best ERA on the Cape, and exactly that happened tonight.
And clearly the better defensive team, the better team with the better bullpen came out on top. And it was just a bullpen implosion for the Commodores. And from there, from that 6th inning, they just couldn't bounce back.
Orleans scored 3 runs in the 6th inning, none of them RBI hits. They loaded up the bases with only 1 out thanks to a couple of walks. They got their first run from a wild pitch. They got their second run from a wild pitch. They got their third run from a bases-loaded hit-by-pitch. It was Robleski and Hoffman in the 6th inning struggling to find the strike zone, and it was just too little too late for the Doors. They returned back to the bullpen. Worcester was fantastic. Hoffman settled down after that 6th inning, but again, just wasn't enough, and this Orleans bullpen is so shut down. We've seen that time in and time out all season long. There's a reason they're top in the East and top in the Cape as a whole, and it shows their bullpen was phenomenal.
And it did show that Prommel isn't unhittable, that he can give up runs. He did give up a run in this one, but that bullpen was so good, and you just question, what if Carmen would have went it 1 more inning? What if Majinski would have been able to pitch that 1 inning? Would this have had a different outcome? Would the same guys go out? Because this had the potential to be like a very similar start to what Franco Aleman had the 2 nights before, and it just didn't pan out.
Starting pitcher Carmen Majinski threw 5 innings of no-hit baseball, allowed only 1 base runner. He was stranded on second base. He said his arm got a little bit fatigued, didn't want to push himself. Trundy didn't want to push him either going into, one of his first appearances in a long time because of the rainouts. So they said, all right, we'll go to the bullpen, and immediately things started to fall apart. Falmouth loses this one by a score of 3-1. Orleans scores 3 runs on 3 hits. They commit no errors. The Doors score 1 run on 5 hits. They commit 1 error after a very complete ball game where the hitting left a little bit to be desired. They had a pretty complete ball game today. Only the 1 error, only run scored in the 6th inning. But again, the hitting just got to step up in pitching duels like this or it's not going to get done.
And we were talking about in the pregame that they couldn't score with runners in scoring position. They couldn't get runners in scoring position in this one. It seemed like the bats were just silent against Orleans, and it's it's all Kelly Nicholson and his squad and his pitching staff that has really been so effective on the Cape this season.
Two guys with fantastic games. Got to give a shout out to Majinski, 5 innings strong, and he allowed no runs, only the one base runner, and no hits. The one base runner coming off of a walk, racked up 7 strikeouts as well. And how about Zach DeLoach? 3 for 3, reached base all 4 times, had a walk as well, came around to score the lone run for the Commodores. So it's not all is lost for the Doors. Again, they do lose this one, but some bright spots. DeLoach having a great bounce-back game, Moretto having a great bounce-back game. But after all is said and done, Orleans comes away with the victory over the Falmouth Commodores by a score of 3-1 in these teams' first appearance. We will be back in action tomorrow night right here at Gov Fuller Field. First pitch coming up at 6 o'clock. Be sure to tune in to the Falmouth Commodores pregame show right around 5:50, 5:55 if you want to catch all the action. That will do it from Gov Fuller Field. For Max Trank, for Tony Bianco, our producer, for Katie Florio, our sideline reporter, I'm Danny LaRose saying so long and good night from Gov Fuller Field. We'll see you tomorrow.